Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and Melissa DeTora, which I could have sworn that's not how you spell her last name, just issued an article today because she works in the R&D department, which is usually kind of, I wouldn't say silent, but they're guarded in what they say and what topics they cover, because they know that at least half, if not 75% of what's wrong with Magic right now is personally their fault. But oh no, Melissa ain't hiding behind that. She's got a whole article about how R&D and play design does their jobs. Or fails to. And of course, since this is Wizards of the Coast, I think we can go ahead and assume right off the bat that she was hired because of her gender, so that they could check a box and pat themselves on the back, not because of any kind of merit or skill or capability to do her job. So keep that in mind while reading this. So she intros by saying, "Hi, I work in R&D. Me and Paul do a thing, a live stream. Go watch it. Nobody will." So the number one question that she commonly gets asked is kind of like an FAQ or a Q&A AMA thing. So the first section header / question is, how far ahead do you work? And I gotta say, I'm curious about this too because I have a little bit of an idea, but it would be interesting to see if they changed it or, well, basically just what she says. And she says, you know, usually the question is in the form of, did you make this card with this other card in mind? Or like, were those supposed to be together? Did you ever play test these together? Usually people are asking that somewhat sarcastically as like a shot at them not doing their job, but okay. Hey, you know when you printed Felidar, did you have Saheeli in mind because it's an infinite combo? Did you design them at the same time? Is that how that happened? That's usually how that question is asked, but she says design does the bulk of its work roughly 1 year before a set is released. Now remember, design, R&D, and playtesting are all horrible misnomers based on what the teams actually do. So keep that in mind. So because you're probably thinking, play design 1 year out, isn't it like 3? Well, let's just say her department isn't named very well. So she goes on to say, right now in May 2019, the newest set we are playtesting standard for, I think she meant to say for standard, is the Spring 2020 set. So that's like March, April 2020. So we've got, let's see, we got M20 coming out in July, and then we've got third quarter, whatever that is. Then we got the like January set, and then it'll be like the one after that. So what people are pissed off about the game right now, what they hate, the type of cards and mechanics they don't like, are allegedly being considered and fixed in that set and not earlier ones because they're already just about finalized, if not finalized. And considering that, I've been playing for like 6 years and they don't ever seem to learn from their mistakes. So to say, oh, that's the lead time on fixing things that people can't stand about standard, no, they just don't. So right after she says which one they're working on, she says, we are able to change cards that are in the newest set and the one right before it. And I assume what she means in writing that to us is the exact opposite. Like, yeah, it's the newest one to her, but the newest one to us would be M20. So it's the exact opposite. I mean, I wouldn't call it the oldest, so I don't know. You guys know what I mean. So I assume she means the most chronologically distant set and the one before it. So if they find a problem with the set after M20 with a card that's in the Spring 2020 set, they have to change the one in the Spring set because they can't change the one in the set that's after M20 because that one's already finalized. And I've got to say that really reinforces my suspicion and everybody's suspicion on the entire internet that they only test sets about one set in each direction. And then they just kind of maybe try their best from there. But after it's a gap of more than one, there's nothing they can do. Well, except not print the second, the most newest card that's problematic. So that gives them, I guess, kind of 50% the chance of catching it, although they do kind of play test them together, but they aren't able to change anything except for the one right before it. So they kind of test and develop 2 at a time, and that's it. Remember, we're about to have 8 sets legal at one time in standard, which is why it really should rotate twice a year. So keep in mind everything she just said and the breakdown and the chronological order of it, because then she says, this means that if we wanted to make a card now after seeing Real World War of the Spark standard results, the card won't see print until winter 2020, which if you're thinking in your head, that doesn't make sense, you are correct. I actually jotted everything she said down in Excel where each cell is a quarter, and what she said makes no sense whatsoever. They're designing and changing cards for 3 sets after M20 right now. They can mod up to 2 sets from M20. They can still change cards from there. But if they wanted to come up with a brand new card, they can't do it till winter. which was that 5 sets after M20? That doesn't make any sense. Put it in the one you're working on right now. So anyway, by winter 2020, they're going to forget about what people are pissed off about in May 2019, which is too much draw, too much control, and not fun gameplay. And people just going all in single win con. Either just mill them out, the whole rest of the deck is control, or 1 or 2 creatures and the whole rest of the deck is control, or planeswalkers and the whole rest of the deck is control. That is what people can't stand about Standard right now. So if you think they're going to fix that by winter 2020, or even remember that that was a problem, no. Although, according to what she kind of said, they're working on it right now, but the problem is none of the cards or anything that goes together now will be relevant or still legal at that point. So they don't need to take individual cards as examples in individual decks. They need an overall design philosophy change. Like, they just need to say, we are never printing hand disruption where you can view the hand ever again. It's all going to be like Mind Rot, where, yeah, they got rid of a card, but it was their choice and they did it blind. You should never on turn 1 be able to see your opponent's entire hand. Everybody knows this. Everybody complains about it. Everybody at Wizards is aware that nobody wants this to ever be a thing. And Thoughtseize was rated one of the worst cards in all of Modern. Last I saw a poll, Blood Moon is the #1 card people want banned, and a very close #2 is Thoughtseize. And if you think Ad Nauseam didn't make the list, you're a crazy person. By the way, Splinter Twin was on the list. It was a while ago. And they need to just say, we either got to go control heavy or draw, but never let those two things be in Standard at the same time. Like ultra heavy Chemister's Insight, Search for Azcanta level of draw, and Planeswalker level of draw, and then control. Pick one. It's just like, remember, they didn't let Eldrazi and really cheap effective universal removal spells that cost 2 or 3 be in Standard at the same time. They purposely designed around it. It is possible, and they have been known to do it, to take an entire Standard cycle and just exempt something from it. And what they need to do is take stuff that people hate and never print it ever again. Mill just needs to be removed from the game completely. Nobody likes Mill except for the immature douchebags that play it. I mean, what else do people most commonly complain about? They take market research studies. They take surveys. Too many planeswalkers. That's the complaint I hear constantly. Then they print War of the Spark. So when Mark Rosewater says, wouldn't it be cool if we printed one with like 36 planeswalkers? It'd be such a cool story. People need to say, no, Mark, shut up. We need to bring Infect back. So many people are talking about it on social media, and I'm taking them very seriously. It is definitely not a joke. Shut up, Mark. I swear we'll fire you. That's what they need to say. So that's my #1 beef with play design, is that they don't get it. They're so obsessed with the pro level because, once again, Melissa is a former pro player, and so is everybody in that damn department. They need to focus less on the pro level, more on the F&M and casual level, and not even casual, but like serious F&M, because those people spend money. They need to make arena health, gameplay time, and fun level acceptable, or they're going to lose millions. And they need to take the most toxic, horrible things out of the game. Like anything on the Storm scale 7 and up, they're never going to print again, clearly, with exceptions, apparently. So they've prioritized it, and they go back, they assess it, and they rate it, and they're like, we're not doing this again. But all they do it for is the Storm scale and individual mechanics. They don't do it for like archetypes or just common gameplay complaints. Gameplay taking too long, gimmicky combos with not enough control to stop them. So in other words, the polar opposite of what we have right now. We've had that in Standard before, where you just can't stop combos. They're too covered. They need to take probably the top 5, if not the top 10 things that people complain about the most, and do everything they can to remove them from the game permanently and never print those things again. Ever. So anyway, with all that's wrong with R&D in mind, that should put you in a good frame of reference for the rest of this article. And interestingly enough, the next headline is, how do you define fun? They don't know what it is. They're a bunch of pro players, and all they care about is, look at the diversity of the meta at the Pro Tour. That nobody cares about, watches, or it's not relevant to 99% of players. So she says there are lots of important pillars of designing Magic sets, such as balance and diversity, which is really all they focus on lately. Because fun, like I said, they don't even know what that is. Our most important one, however, is fun. You lying bitch, but okay, I'll play along since this is a long section. Fun is our primary goal for designing our formats. I'll save you guys some time instead of another 10-minute rant about this. Then how the hell did, and then just fill in literally anything, become a thing? How did you let that become a thing? How did you let this be a deck? How did you let that be a card? How did you approve this? Who thought this was okay? Why didn't you ban this? I mean, just pretend I said all that and gave about 50 examples from the last 3 years. Clearly, they don't have any awareness of what fun gameplay looks like or how to get there at all. Not being able to remove the Scarab God from play in any way, shape, or form is not fun, and the way you design the card Also not fun. That's a bad, not fun hurricane that's coming together there. It's the perfect storm of stupid shit that people can't stand. Getting every single spell I cast an entire game countered while my opponent constantly sits on 7 cards. Not real fun. I mean, how did you let that become a thing? Who let, probably Mark Rosewater, put a draw 2 on a jump start? Who approved Teferi? Who thought that was fun? Oh, he guarantees that every single thing that they cast from now on is getting countered because he draws more counter spells and then untaps land. That'll be fun to play against. Let's do that. Your whole entire department, including you, Melissa, should be fired. So anyway, fun is a hard thing to define because it means different things to different people. Okay, but let me stop right there again. I'm pretty sure everybody doesn't want every spell they cast in an entire game to get countered. I would say that would hit a 95% agreement rate among the community. And yet you actively design standard for that to be the primary mechanic of entire sets. Wow. So some players like attacking and others like denying resources to their opponents, and others like their opponent to punch them in the face after not letting them do anything in the entire game. A lot of players like to sit there with no lands in play because Teferi got his emblem off because they tried to blow him up 4 times and got all 4 spells countered. Some people find that fun, and those people are assholes, but we're going to keep designing cards for them because the rest of you. Oh, and others like building creative decks or tuning decks to beat a certain metagame. Yeah, that's me. Too bad certain decks that you designed lately are unbeatable. It's difficult to cast a wide enough net to encompass so many play styles, but play design has developed its own philosophy on what makes a fun game of Magic. Okay, clearly I know the answer more than anybody who works there. Take the most hated things, hated scenarios, hated cards, hated mechanics, downplay them, print them lesser no times, and just leave it. That's it. That's literally all you need to do. It'll be somewhere between a little rough and, ooh, Magic's actually fun. It'll just waver between those two somewhat unpredictably, but at least it won't get to the point it's at now, where nobody wants to play Magic right now. Standard constructed is torture right now. It is miserable. It's just screaming, go play a different game. And with $22 lands that you need 4 of, there's even more motivation. You should avoid that. Maybe you should talk to like the marketing, finance, and business departments once in a while. See what they think of you pricing people out of the game and then pissing them off on top of it. So we want games of Magic to have interaction points at most points in the game. Okay, well, there's not that at all in Standard right now. It's important for players to feel like they have the tools to handle the many different situations thrown at them. Okay, well, I guess that would be true for Control players, but since there's nothing that shuts down Esper Control right now, it doesn't really go both ways. So one person will be happy, and they're a dick. We try to put answers to a variety of threats in all colors. Well, you put too many in and now nobody can play anything. If your deck isn't 50% control right now, you might as well just not even show up. We try to spread these answers everywhere on the curve to make them accessible to more decks, and then you print turn 4 Red Rush. So then everything past 3 is an unplayable, worthless card. Which, by the way, doesn't sell boxes. We also strive to make games dynamic so that games play out differently based on the decisions the player made. No, every top deck right now plays the same way every single game. Same narrow win conditions, same strategies, same mulligan decisions. There is zero diversity, zero dynamic gameplay whatsoever. So then she gives some ridiculous examples that aren't remotely relevant, and she doesn't even name a single card that anybody plays right now, and she acts like that's what's going on. Wow, what an out-of-touch, clueless dumbass. The next heading, how do you prevent power creep? Well, they don't. They want to keep selling boxes, so they just keep printing more powerful cards until we're at where we are now. But it gets worse. She says, we want each set to have an impact on a variety of formats, which I should go look up the quote right now. They said something virtually identical to, we only design for Standard. We don't care. We don't consider. We don't even think about Modern, Commander, none of that. We print for Standard, and then we correct Modern with bans. Okay, we do not consider Modern or any other formats when we're planning Standard at all. Not for one single card. And then one of the staff members made a stupid comment that totally walked that back, and I got the feeling he wasn't supposed to say that. It was during the Eldrazi winter, and he said, yeah, we knew about it. Of course we knew about it. We knew that this would be problematic for Modern. We just didn't think it would get this bad. But we knew about it when we were designing the card. We were well aware of it. Whoopsies. So now we got Melissa saying, we want each set to have an impact on a variety of formats. So in other words, when they design stuff for Standard, it's for everything. But then even she walks it back and says Standard is the most important as it's Magic's most popular format. One, either Either not anymore or not for long. I mean, come on. And is the easiest to get into as a new player. I guess, yeah. I mean, I'd say like Commander is more fun and more friendly, but not really. Not on deck building ease or power level or understand the game. So we also want our sets to impact formats that use a much deeper card pool like Modern, Commander, and Legacy. I guarantee all of that is for financial reasons and they compromise the health of Standard Constructed because of it. I mean, look at Aether Revolt. So if we were to make a larger impact on these formats, power creep is likely to happen. I'm surprised that sentence didn't end with comma like Aether Revolt. How many of those cards were clearly designed for Modern or are currently played in Modern? It was basically a Modern set. They should have retroactively renamed it Modern Horizon 0. So when War of the Spark was first revealed, this question started popping up. How can we possibly balance a set and prevent power creep with so many planeswalkers? The answer is don't do that then. Don't print 36 planeswalkers, you idiots. In most standard formats, there are about 15 or so planeswalkers. In War Standard, we were adding an additional 37. Given that planeswalkers are often the most powerful cards in Standard, oh, you noticed, did you? Well, don't do anything about it. I mean, just notice and state it, but don't prevent Super Friends from ever being the most toxic deck ever. Encourage it, obviously. That's what you need to do. So we had to be very careful, and now we've got Esper Super Friends. So you clearly weren't careful enough. Nor was it a good idea in the first place. So they turned half the planeswalkers into enchantments that you can attack. I mean, that's basically what they are. Gutted them, there's no alts, they're not planeswalkers, let's be honest. They're enchantments with charge counters. Oh, except the creatures can directly attack them. So, see if this makes sense to you, because it sure as hell doesn't make sense to me. We couldn't follow the normal paradigm for planeswalkers. Doing that would be too difficult to balance, as we'd have some very weak-looking planeswalkers to go with the many strong ones. Wait, so you couldn't print full-blown, mythic-grade, triple ability, full ultimate emblem planeswalkers? You knew you couldn't do that, and if you did do that, it would result in weak-looking planeswalkers to go with the strong ones, which is what you did. That was actually the solution. That's not what you didn't do, that is what you did. Does she even know what's in the set? Does she even play Magic? You did water them down. You did mix pathetic planeswalkers with actually good ones. That is literally what you did. Holy cow, somebody give her a drug test or something. So she goes on to explain a bunch of more planeswalker crap that contradicts itself, makes no sense. Then she says, for example, we knew there was a real possibility that Hydroid Crisis would be very strong in Standard. Really, since it refills your entire hand while giving a flying trampler in control colors mixed with ramp colors. You thought that might be problematic, did ya? And you still get the effect when you counter the spell. You thought that might be a little bit of a problem. I'm shocked. Since its triggered ability can't be countered, we wanted an effect that could naturally stop it. We put that effect on Narset Parter of Veils, which her passive is each opponent can draw more than one card each turn. So, double blue planeswalker that's really crap. She's under like $3 and you gotta be playing like hardcore blue to play her. So one color can stop Hydroid Crisis. And it's honestly probably in a mirror match. Wow, thanks guys, problem solved. If you want to shut down a card, put it in colorless. Put the answer in colorless so everybody can play it. Like, the 0-drop that nukes somebody's graveyard. Tormod's Crypt. That's what you call an answer to somebody using graveyard synergy. Okay, that's an actual answer. That's a sideboard card for everybody. Not 1/5 of the people, everybody. You can lose to 1/5 of the people at F&M and still come in first place, FYI. So if I'm running a Hydroid Crisis deck, not only am I going to counter Narset when she's cast, that's a whole different story, but I'm not afraid of 1/5 of people, one color, one deck archetype. So then she goes on to say a bunch of BS that I could counter with, yeah, but she's not good enough to mainboard. So there you go. Oh, she got some balls with this next header. Did you know that insert card here was good in Modern/Legacy? Similar to the previous question, we try to make cards for all different formats. Oh, I want to look up that quote, but I know it's going to take me 30 minutes to find it, where they blatantly assured us in no uncertain terms that the Eldrazi winter was the cause of the fact that when they design cards for Standard, they do not consider any other formats at all. Everybody knew they were lying. We all had evidence to the contrary, but I just thought I'd bring it up again to remind you that they really like to lie to us, like blatantly misrepresent the truth. Not just, oh, that was slightly misleading, like literally the polar opposite is what they're trying to convince you of. They are lying to your face. Wizard staff and all these stupid daily MTG articles do that constantly. So anyway, they say including Modern. Modern is a format that spans over 16 years. As more sets come out, their likelihood of having an impact on Modern and Legacy and Vintage is less and less. Other than the fact that it's more and more, does this dumbass actually think that having a bigger pool diffuses cards? Because it actually makes more opportunity for more broken card interactions and combos. It doesn't lower it. If she's specifically, exclusively talking about this is the new best counterspell, this is the new best kill spell, this is an improvement on Lightning Helix. Yeah, as the power level goes up in Modern, the probability of just a card unseating it in Standard with every given set is lower, but the chances of a card being problematic or part of a problematic combo or taking the existing deck and putting its power level way too high goes up. And I'd be more worried about that than just, oh look, Fatal Push. Oh look, Absorb. Oh look, Sinister. It's really the whole deck. Like, if it doesn't go in a deck, who cares if it's the new best of? That's what she's saying makes no sense. Well, it makes sense in the context of this whole article. Clearly, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. So I guess that makes sense. So her example is unrealistic bullshit with card examples that nobody plays and that are worth under $1. So good job. This is an interesting little tidbit. Another way we can impact non-rotating formats is by creating more low mana cost interactive cards that are less powerful in Standard than Modern or Legacy. One example of this is Fatal Push. So she's admitting that card was designed specifically for Modern. Which, remember that article, that video? The 5 videos where I said Fatal Push is not as good as people think it is in Standard. It's only good in Modern because you can't count on it in Standard. And everybody was, it's a good card, it's $15, you're wrong. Well, me and Melissa both agree on this, that it was designed exclusively for Modern. Which means you're wrong. You're still wrong. It still went down and down and down in popularity over time. So in Standard, it's quite hard to turn on the Revolt ability. Told ya, unreliable. But in Modern Legacy, where your mana base contains fetch lands, it's achievable nearly every turn. There are lots of mechanics that are naturally stronger in older formats than Standard, graveyard mechanics and cost reduction mechanics being some examples. That's where we try to aim designs for Modern and Legacy. So it was designed for Modern. You really shouldn't have been playing that card in Standard. It's not as good as people think it is. So the next headline that I guarantee she's not going to answer, no, I didn't read this ahead of time. Did you know about insert powerful interaction here when you designed it? The Saheeli Cat combo, I'm going to say no. The answer is automatically 100% no. And the reason, if I were to follow it up, is because they suck at playtesting. But the card design people suck too. Don't forget that, because everybody knows that should have said creature. Whenever you say permanent or non-land permanent, that's anything. That is literally anything, so you better test it as if it's anything. You know why? Because it can do anything. One of the unwritten rules of the game is don't let people flicker planeswalkers. But they're like, nah, we'll be fine. Who cares? And whoopsies, we gotta ban it. And then you get all the whining, net decking douchebags. I just dropped $300 on this deck so I could automatically win at F&M without trying. You guys shouldn't ban it. You just don't like powerful decks. I want free wins without thinking. Wah. In case you're new here, I hate net deckers. They're whiny, entitled assholes who ruin the game. And the definition of net decking is not copying a deck list off the internet. It's copying a deck list off the internet from the top of the tournament results with the idea in mind that it's the most powerful deck in your probably incorrect opinion. There's a difference between that and, oh, that deck looks fun. I want to play that. That looks cool. I'm going to run this no matter how much it costs because I need to win because I'm a shallow, immature piece of shit. That is a net decker. That is net decking. So anyway, you may have noticed that there are more combos in Standard than there have been in recent sets. Really, Melissa? I didn't notice. I didn't notice at all. Wow, that is news to me. I'm glad I read that or I wouldn't have realized it. This certainly was intentional. Okay, we believe that Standard is healthy when all the major macro archetypes, aggro, combo, midrange, and control are available. Well, they aren't. Lately, Esper Control and other control archetypes, especially Super Friend-oriented control and single win-con controls, Turbo Fog is back. Basically anything with untapping your lands and Bant. Those have pushed out Red Rush. So now, so aggro's gone. Combo, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You think somebody's going to pull off a combo with the amount of control in Standard right now? Are you kidding me? Mid-range doesn't exist, and then control. So there's actually only one of the four right now. It's single win con control, Rise of the Second Sun, horse shit all over again, or nothing. That's the meta right now. Oh, but Des, I looked at one tournament result or one very narrow one-day thing and it says something different. I don't care. That's the pro level. It's unrelated to what people are playing on Arena, so shut the hell up. You're wrong. You're looking at a bad statistics set. Just get off of MTG Goldfish and get on with your life and get a clue. So at least she even goes on to say Standard has been deprived of combo for a while. Well, that's good because combo and control are the two most hated archetypes, followed by aggro, and then mid-range is Standard. That's what Standard should be, is mid-range. All decks except for gimmicky fringe shit should be mid-range. I mean, everybody knows that. It's the most fun. It feels like a real game. It's not too short, not too long. That's what it should be. And you know what? If they wanted to fix Standard forever, let me just throw this out there. I know people disagree with this heavily. Make it actually a rule that in Standard constructed, you cannot play more than 2 colors. Problem solved. Think about every problematic deck going all the way back to Kaladesh, which obviously would be a problem. It's a 3-color set, but think of every problematic deck from like the last 5 years. How many of them were 3-color or more? I'll give you a hint. It's about 80%, depending upon how you measure it. Mono red, mono blue, mono white, and then, Theros and the whole devotion black thing, obviously, because devotion. So yeah, just say you cannot play more than 2 colors. Done. Problem solved. No more overpowered decks. No more Swiss Army do-it-all decks. No more decks with an answer to everything. That would be the end of it. So anyway, yeah, Standard has been deprived of combos for a while, especially after Kaladesh, where combo was stronger than we wanted it to be. Our team has learned from past mistakes. No, you haven't. And we are more calculated in our approach to making combo decks. There are a few things we look for when making combos in Standard. Oh, this should be entertaining. How many cards do I need to combo off? Well, the answer is if it's more than 3, it ain't gonna go off, sister. 2-card combos mean that you need to put together fewer pieces to combo off, and that can be problematic. I think she means like build up synergy, not combo. When I hear combo, I think these cards come together, the game is over, period. Like, that's a combo deck, okay? Just, these cards kind of go together nicely, and this triggers this twice. That's not combo. Okay, that's synergy. That's just non-tribal synergy. That's just building your deck correctly. A combo deck is, I got my combo off, you lose. Okay, so I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Saheeli Cat combo. That's a combo deck, okay? Okay, Midnight Reaper and Reassembling Skeleton, that's not a combo deck, okay? That's the theme of the deck is creatures dying. It's called synergy, not combo. Number 2, does the combo have redundancy? So in other words, this is what I call a 4-4 or an 8-4 or an 8-8. And you guys have heard me complain that Kitchen Finks in Standard is, I believe, as it sits, a 12-8-12 combo. So you can pull 3 of basically anything in the entire deck and get the combo off. I find that to be a little bit too good and a little bit too problematic and a little bit too resilient, and so does Melissa because she half knows how to do her job. Oh my gosh, I love this. So she says, does the combo have redundancy? Splinter Twin has 2 different cards for each combo piece. One is Pestermite or Deceiver Exarch, and then card 2 is Splinter Twin or Kiki Jiki. So it's an 8-8 combo. So that gives the deck lots of redundancy. We try to make combos less redundant so that games play out more dynamically. You want games to be dynamic and decks to play differently, and then you quote Splinter Twin and the modern format. Wow. Yeah, modern is where I go for the most dynamic gameplay. Really, if you want the most dynamic, different gameplay where you might not even think it's the same deck, you gotta go to Vintage and Legacy, guys. Or competitive 2-player Commander. That's really where you just see a different win con every time. Just kidding. What was the term I always say? Oh yeah, not even worth your time shuffling is how I describe those decks. So I love how she names a deck that was banned with an 8-8 combo and then doesn't mention or ban Kitchen Finks at all, and it's 12-8-12. Amazing. Yes, I know another factor for deciding to ban a deck is how many people actually play it, but you guys know that I make ban decisions and ban recommendations solely and exclusively on principle. I don't need any statistics, I don't need numbers, I just need to look at the cards and say, that's f***ed up. We should probably not allow that. Banned. Before it becomes a problem. Number 3, what are the interaction points? How many turns of setup do I need? So, like how much warning, what's the mana cost? Can I do it during my opponent's end step? How much of a response can they give? That all goes into it. She didn't say that, but she should have. Can my combo be interacted with by cards that people usually play, such as creature removal? As long as there are plenty of interaction points, the combo is usually healthy. So in other words, can it be reasonably stopped by multiple colors? And fun fact for you, Melissa, the answer is automatically no with the volume of control we have right now. If you can always cover your combo, it doesn't really matter how stoppable it is, because you're going to stop the stopping of it. So then the only important factor is mana cost, and as we know right now in standard, mana cost don't mean a damn thing. Too much ramp, it's too fast, and then we have that absolute bullshit untap everything card. Oh, and then we've got Marwyn, and then we've got Cabal Stronghold, which make Nykthos Shrine Nick look like shit. Mana means nothing. Plus, if you have enough control and draw to drag the game out to turn 30, mana really doesn't mean anything. Oh no, one of the pieces of the combo costs 4 mana. Who gives a shit? They have 20. The amount of forests that you can drop in artificially right now into play makes when landfall was legal look like not a lot of lands. So what is the deck building cost? Do I have to fill my deck with lots of do-nothing cards? For example, Splinter Twin's deck building cost is very low. I hope they don't mean financially. You get to play a control deck with lots of cantrips and you don't have to devote many slots to the combo. Yeah, I guess, more so than Finks. I guess she got a point. Conversely, the deck building cost of modern Cheerios is very high. The majority of the deck is part of the combo. That is true. And you can't play much in terms of interaction if you want to combo off consistently. So my only issue with what she just said is neither one of those should be a thing. Oh, you've got a combo and a bunch of bullshit mow through your deck, waste of time cantrip scry crap. Bunch of Ponder clones that should have been banned along with Ponder. And if you don't agree with me on that philosophy, let me think, what was just banned multiple times? Oh yeah, Gitaxian Probe. Once again, when me and Wizards of the Coast both agree on something, you're wrong. If you disagree, you're wrong. It's that simple. So you get a boring, stupid covered combo, or you get, the whole deck is the combo. Who cares? Combo decks are stupid. So then she says, we are actively trying to put healthy combo decks in standard. I thought for sure she was going to just be like the one card combo, Rise of the Second Sun. It's such an easy combo that it's a one card combo. Or Hostage Taker, which I'm not even kidding, they had to change the wording on because it is an infinite combo. It's a one card infinite combo. Seriously, look at the wording on the card on Arena and then compare it to paper. I am absolutely not kidding about this. So the example she says is Railstorm Conduit plus Expansion Explosion, which I said was one of the worst combos ever when we saw the spoilers. But her defense of it is let's see, that plus that combo, or a combo deck built around Bolas's Citadel or Dreadhorde Invasion. Yeah, okay, duh. When we come across interactions like this, we put the cards through their paces to be sure we get them in a fun spot for standard. Yeah, cloning a spell 16 times isn't really acceptable under any circumstances, so the first sentence of that paragraph of we're actively trying to put healthy combo decks in standard, and then you name Expansion Explosion and Railstorm Conduit. Oh, I just realized that's not the problematic Ral. I'm talking about the other Ral. So I guess she's right, but holy shit, you didn't test it with the other Ral? Are you kidding me? The one that clones spells? You didn't test a spell cloner with a spell cloner? Oh, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the other combo she said, Bolas's Citadel and Dreadhorde Invasion, those cards have absolutely no interaction whatsoever and have nothing to do with each other. One deals with the library and getting out 10 permanents, and the other one has to do with getting out 1 permanent and doesn't care what's in your library. Amazing. What a great combo. I think that she thinks that Dreadhorde Invasion brings out 1 token per turn. It does not. Now, Bolas's Citadel and Afterlife 2, now we're talking. But to reiterate, that's not a combo deck, that's called Synergy. Oh, she's getting the hard questions. Too bad she's not really answering them, and when she does, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. The next section is, why doesn't Control have a faster win con? It's because of broken, overpowered cards that can win the game by themselves. Let's see what she says. You could do no win con to Fairy where the win con is the emblem. I mean, people have done that, or they put in 1 Kaya. Oh, there's the win con. Oh. And you know why that is? Because you cannot beat that emblem. Let's be honest, your opponent running out of cards is the win con of that deck, and some people have been put in mill because they have better things to do with their time. But that is an unbeatable win con. There's nothing you can do to stop that. I mean, there's 1 card that refills your library, and it's just going to get countered. Also, I don't know if you noticed or not, but that's in the sideboard of those decks. So then the game just simply, quite literally, never ends. Yeah, too powerful of cards, too much cover, too much draw. That's why. That is the problem. Let's see what her explanation is. A control deck looks to answer every threat thrown its way. See, that's the problem in design philosophy right there. It should be able to disrupt the most powerful pieces of your opponent's deck, and that's all the further it should go. If you're trying to answer every threat, every creature, every spell, you should not be able to do that. That's not fun. If you don't pull it off, you're going to lose and your deck is shit. And if you do pull it off, you're going to piss off your opponent and drive people out of the game. So the fact that she thinks that's what the best control deck is honestly disgusting and very revealing. That explains exactly why we're at where we are. So it wants to answer every threat thrown its way, play draw spells to gain more answers, and then once it has full control, win the game. However, sometimes there aren't strong enough win conditions in Standard. Oh my gosh, she's going the other way with it. No, it's because there are too powerful of individual win cons to the point where the rest of your deck doesn't have to be anything but control. Because as soon as you get that card out and you can cover it, you are going to win, period. This isn't, okay, I'm playing mono blue control, then, oh, whoopsies, all the blue creatures suck, I'm going to beat you 3 damage at a time in the air. Like, that's what she's referring to. That doesn't match up with reality in Standard at all, though. Not right now. Teferi and Mill are unbeatable win cons. You literally can't remove his emblem, and you're sure as shit not going to remove him. So, when that happens, decks like pre-war Esper Control emerged, or post-war Esper Control, I don't know if you've been paying attention. A deck that's only win condition is using Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, to tuck itself back into the library over and over so that you'll never run out of cards. I'm shocked that she didn't actually name Nexus as well. Once the deck has full control, it takes many, many turns to actually win. Yes, 53 to be exact. And the opponent has no options and has to sit there for many turns until they die. I bullshit you not, I read that verbatim. That is what she actually wrote. She literally wrote, to paraphrase, here's what a perfect control deck is. Here's what the ideal control deck does. And then when it does do that, you get the absolute shitstorm that we had with Esper Control. Have you lost your damn mind, Melissa? Holy shit. And I am shocked by the next sentence, because she actually admits it. We don't view that play pattern as fun. Really? Because you didn't seem to know what the hell fun was before. This is the kind of win condition that we don't want for control decks. Really, you remember what eggs was like. Okay, good for you. The reason this card is the primary win condition is because the other options available are not strong enough. Wrong! It's because that card is capable of winning the game by itself, so f*** the rest of the deck. How can a person be this wrong when it's their full-time job to understand this shit? Oh my god! So she thinks they need like a better, more powerful card to win more consistently. She thinks Esper Control needed a more consistent, faster, more powerful win con, and that would have solved the problem, and people wouldn't be complaining about Esper Control. Are you kidding me? I'll give you that. It would run faster, but it would be even more toxic and unbeatable, and 95% of players would play it. Limit the ability to play 3-color. Limit the amount of draw in control colors. Problem solved. Too bad she doesn't know this. Moving forward, we are striving to make sure control decks have strong, fun finishers to win the game once full control has been established. So they're going to continue to make sure that Esper Control is a thing for now into the foreseeable future, but they're going to make it even more powerful. Great. You too. Some examples of control decks with strong win conditions are Esper Dragon Control. Oh, that was a treat back then, which mainly won with Dragonlord Ojutai. Haha, wrong. It won with Ugin. It was literally an Ugin duck and cover deck. It was get out Ugin and win and then blow their shit up until you get out Ugin. I'm not even reading the rest of that. It's just one big lie. She does go on to say, we thought this would happen, but then something else happened. So there's that. The whole rest of the section is a dumpster fire. So, let's move on to, does play design have influence on bans? Because honestly, I think to this day, they've never said what division or department does bans. And also, they've changed the department names, and they've also changed what the same names actually do. Play design does have influence on bans. Oh good, Melissa's in charge of bans, and she thinks Esper Control needs a better, faster, more powerful, more unstoppable win con. Oh good, we're in good hands now. We have a meeting before every ban and restricted announcement to discuss the state of each format, look at the data, and determine if anything is problematic enough to ban. Let me just add, and then somehow that doesn't get done at all. And then we post bullshit on Daily MTG, like, yeah, we know Chain Whirler is way overpowered. We already banned Red Rush once. It came back with solely because of this card, let's be honest. But just it's gonna cycle in 3 months. Just wait. If you missed that announcement, that is exact paraphrasing of what they said. We know it's broken and overpowered, and we know the entire community wants it gone, but on the flip side, just wait 3 months, it'll cycle out. I don't know if you guys noticed this too, but people didn't stop playing Red Rush when it fucking cycled out. Oh, and to clarify, I didn't mean specifically Chain Whirler cycled out, it's just most of the cards that the Red Rush deck played were cycling out. This is why you ban Chain Whirler when it's a problem. So then she goes on to list the 4 factors that they use. Everybody knows what they are. They're not good enough, and they're only a small portion of what should be going into a ban decision, and it'll just piss you off if I read them. Then she goes on to say, how do you design for best of one? They just don't. I mean, I don't even need to read that. And that's it. So good. I was done reading her absolute lies and bullshit. Melissa, you should be fired. You're incapable of doing your job or understanding the game at a basic level. And fuck you. Thanks for ruining the game for everybody. So little shout out to everybody in the comment section right about now. On an extra spicy video where I tend to call out Wizards on their BS and explain everything that's clearly wrong with the game with evidence, statements from the staff, past examples, anecdotes, math, logic, reason, not even reinforcing my point, but proving it. I'd say about 90% of you say, yes, finally, somebody telling the truth, cutting through Wizards crap. I'm so glad I'm subbed to the channel. Yay, thumbs up. And then 10% of people who clearly have some kind of cognitive problem with understanding logic, math, reason, the card game at all. Or you're just in denial. You just want your stupid overpowered net deck to win, so you just ignore anything else like facts. You just want stupid easy wins from a deck list you can copy from somebody else, and you don't care if it takes 57 turns to win the f***ing game. So you're in complete denial. Now you're very mad about me telling the truth, and you're going to sit there and rant about how I'm wrong and I don't get it and I'm too negative and whatever else bullshit, all the same tired crap I've heard, and like a million different comments. My ban list at last count is approximately 3,100 people, and unique viewers on my channel is about 130,000. In a 30-day period, I should say, obviously, not per video. So 2.3% of you are clueless assholes, and I am not going to listen to anything you say. FYI, every comment from every person is held until I can see it on this channel, in case you didn't notice. So 0 offensive comments and shots at me are going to make it to the public. I'm going to see them, but then I'm just going to say, F you, and I'm going to ban you for life. And you will never be able to say anything in any comment section on any video or in any live stream on my channel ever again. So keep that in mind. I mean, you're clearly an asshole, so I don't care what you do or what you say, or if you get yourself banned, it's not my problem, and I don't give a shit what happens to you. But maybe just pump the brakes on your selfish, arrogant, clueless dickishness if you ever want to have a voice on this channel ever again. Just FYI. Because every time I go over to Vera's channel or Perp's channel or anybody else's during a live stream, like, why did you ban me from your channel? All I said was something horribly offensive and told you that. Yeah, that's why you get one shot. And I have a very high bar for how much of a dick you have to be before I ban you instead of just deleting your content. Comment, not your, I wish I could delete your content. Guys, we have got some Olympic pole vaulting levels of dickishness amongst 2.3% of the community in my comment section. So that's your fair warning. If you made it this far and you already left a dickish comment, you might want to delete it. Just saying. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video.